improved with that, but I saw him do it in Inglewood.
He ain't played, man. Honestly, I wouldn't even be able to tell you, man. He had the only game he's really played any significant amount was the game against Indiana, and it was really like you can tell the offense was super pared down. Yeah. Oh, I mean, it was. Yeah, it was. I think it was a close game until the fourth quarter, but But he didn't do anything offensively, like to help us really, So it's gonna take a lot of development for him. But if he goes somewhere where like if he gets with the guy from UNLV, their offensive coordinator, that dude's a monster. That dude's a monster. If he gets in a system like that where he can run and pass and do that kind of deal, I think he'll be good. But
I can see him going.
It's gonna be tough.
I can see him going to the Mountain West. I can see him going to UNLV or even Arizona State or something like that. I can see him going somewhere like that and like
let the people know who y'all talking about.
We're talking about Justin Martin from UCLA.
Yeah. Inglewood native, man. Shout out to him. I'm sure he's not listening.
Don't forget to clock in, like the thumbs, man. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Here we go.
Let's get it.
Great Pharaoh. The gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the 5 rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
track, this is one of them hits now. Heard back from Earth, they just shot a few of my shits down. It's safe to say I'm totally pissed, wow. My cloaking devices just malfunction, guess it's time for a sit down. This is the problem I got with humans, mostly the common man. Constantly fucking with energy they don't understand. Always thinking they got the upper hand. The G-forces for my maneuvers can snap your spine like a rubber band. I shouldn't waste my time, they ain't half as nice. Put a Red Bull in your coffin so your ghost can have wings in the afterlife. Let's rock and roll like a belly dancer's rhinestone. It was my idea to shake the pineal gland like a pine cone. My thoughts create hurricanes, tornadoes, and cyclones. A punch for me is like an avalanche of granite and limestone. You live here, but now this is my home. I neuralize both your retinas, you wake up staring at the screen of your iPhone. Confused by the light plus the high tone. And now we connected from the microchip I placed next to your thigh bone. It's hard to understand cause you're mind blown, but I gotta cut communication. Your government just scrambled they spy drones.
That voice speaking Sumerian, the oldest language in human history. I can't explain it.
We back. We are back for another edition of Around the Shield, man. The return of Big Mike Raider, man. He's in the building, man. And we got the Severe Raider, man. Obviously myself here on the field, man. We got a great show lined up today. As usual, we're going to be talking about the Raiders. It's a lot to talk about. Before y'all watch the show, man, make sure to clock in, man. Like the thumbs, man. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. We appreciate everybody coming through. Man, Mike, what's going on? You took your much-needed vacation.
Yeah, man. As you can see, I'll be taking the Raiders in doses these days, man. I gotta walk away for a little bit. But man, it's good to see you guys, man. Hopefully you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Everybody watching, hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving as well. 5 more games, y'all. Let's see what the Raiders bring these next 5 games. It matters. It really does matter, man.
No, facts. 100%, man. And look, man, the Raiders did, you know what? Like, they've been playing hard. I'll give them that. Yeah. Ever since the bye week, they made their adjustments, fired the people they needed to fire on that offensive coaching staff. It just feels like they've been playing hard every game. Has the outcome been different? No, it's still the same. They're losing, but they are still playing hard for this team. Like, I don't think Pierce has lost the locker room. I mean, Mike, I guess let's start it off, man, because it's been a while since we had a chance to talk. And last week, Black Friday game, Raiders almost stole one against the Chiefs. Yeah. What have you seen from this team that you feel like has been a difference since the bye week, since they made the change in OC?
Well, we have seen with this offense all season that they come out, guns a blazing. They look great. Those first 15 plays, those scripted plays, they look great. Problem was over the season is that, second quarter, third quarter comes in, and then they just lay an egg. Mm-hmm. One thing I've seen the last couple of games under Scott Turner, there's been some adjustments.
Right.
Adjustments are being made. They're still showing spurts. And then in this Chiefs game, the offense looked explosive. We saw explosion with this offense for the first time all season, and that's with Aiden O'Connell under center. And I'm sure we'll talk about Aiden O'Connell a little bit later, but it's the adjustments that are being made and taking what's, instead of like we'll just take what we're given. No, just, going in there and really making a stamp on this defense, on defenses, and making them respect what we're doing on offense. That's the big difference. And because of that, hate to say it, for people who believe in the tank, we're going to win some games. We're going to win some games these next 5. Yeah. Just the way the offense is going, the trajectory.
You watch your damn mouth. You watch your damn mouth.
I hate to say it, man. We're going to be some disappointed ass people, man, but we going to win some games, man. We're going to win some games.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it because we're going to play some bad teams. We got Jacksonville coming up soon in a few weeks. Obviously, we played the Bucs this week. And, you could just go into this game and a lot of people have the Bucs probably favorite to win this game. But the Bucs are not a team that's like, oh, my God, the Bucs, they're one of the best teams. You know what I mean? That it's any given Sunday. And the Raiders, the way they've been playing, they've played a few teams tough, good teams, but we'll see. we'll see how it shakes out. Because once we feel like, hey, Raiders look like they might be on the upward trajectory, but then they come back down to earth, man. Like they play well against good teams, and then against bad teams, they play down to their competition. It's just like that's a sign of a bad team, inconsistency. Right. But we talked about it on Tuesday. We talked about Aiden O'Connell, Mike, and how well he played, and I thought that's probably the best I've ever seen Aiden O'Connell play in a regular season game, just given the circumstances on the road. Almost was able to he was driving the team down the field and almost completed basically beating a team like the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. But obviously, with that turnover at the end, that fumble. I mean, what did you see out of Aiden O'Connell? Is it enough for you to be like, you know what? There might be something here, man. Like, Aiden is our franchise QB. What do you? Let us know. Let the people know, man.
Bro, look. Okay, he would have been the starter week 1 if that was the case. Can we rewind, do a little quick rewind to July or August, whatever that was, when he threw a pick 6 against the Cowboys that caused him his first string spot? Like, I don't care what anybody says, that was the reason why he wasn't our starter week 1. And also rewind a little bit further back. When we were in training camp, he didn't separate himself from Gardner Minshew. The job was his, but he didn't do anything to earn that spot to be, he didn't earn the confidence from the rest of the coaches that he's that guy. Mm-hmm. Now we fast forward to now, he's with his third offensive coordinator in 2 years, or whatever number it is, 4th or whatever the crazy number it is, right? Maybe he's just one of those guys that is a freelance guy. Maybe he doesn't work well under a system that is established. Yeah. He looked good in spurts under our OC last year once we got rid of Josh McDaniel. So it's like, how much of that is him kind of just, hey, I'm just gonna go out there and sling the thing and see what happens. How much of it is that? Or is it that, he is improving? You do see some development improving. And I will say to a degree, yeah. It was times where he stepped up in the pocket. He avoided some, he showed a little bit of mobility. I'm not talking about, speed or anything like that. But, he's manipulating the pocket. He's stepping up and he's throwing a shot. A lot better than what we've seen with Gardner Minshew.
Functional mobility.
Functional mobility, right? Shout out to Mo right there. Mo Moten right there. Yeah, he says that. Yeah. So shout out to Mo on that one. But, I will say Aiden O'Connell really impressed me on that final drive. He was surgical on that final drive. The game we should have won, right? Surgical, but the not the rookie mistake, but just the mistakes from a guy who's not used to being in that type of situation was exposed in that, towards the end, where you got to have everything lined up straight perfectly, and it's his second year in the league. He's just finishing his second year. I want to see a little bit more. Stuff like that needs to be fixed. To me, do it again. Do it again. Do it for the rest of the season. And then maybe we'll talk about you being in competition for the number 1 spot at quarterback when we draft another guy. Either way, we're drafting another guy. That has to happen. We have to draft another guy.
In his defense, I'll give him this. Mm-hmm. In his defense, when Aiden O'Connell came up to his post-game presser and he broke down the play and he was like, he took full responsibility. That was my fault. I was clapping my hands, but I was trying to get the receivers up. But then obviously when I clap my hands, I'm basically signaling to center to hurry up and hike the ball. You're on the road. They can't hear. They hear the clap. That means hike that ball. So he took the responsibility, but he also broke down what the plan was. All I was gonna do was hike the ball, kill some time, and throw the ball away. Yeah. Now, when they're already that close, just kick the ball. protect your. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Can you point to coaching in that? You severe. Go ahead and speak to it, man.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So, yeah, man, I think Aiden had a pretty good game. And I was impressed with some of what I saw, especially like the progression he's made from last year, even from earlier in the year to this year. I watched the film, that entire game. It was funny on that scramble, which is the most mobile I've ever seen him. But like, if you watch it on the all-22, at one point he almost stumbles and falls forward, but he catches himself. He catches himself. Like, and that's improvement, because maybe the years past he probably would have failed. And then not only did he keep his feet, he got enough yardage for what should have been a first down if it wasn't for that penalty. So that's like, that right there was progress. On that last drive, if you watch the film on the last drive, I mean, the passes outside of the pass to Trey Tucker, I think it's Trey Tucker between two defenders. Most of the passes was like easy reads. The Chiefs were playing like super soft, so it was like basic reads. The pass to Trey Tucker though, that was a dime. It was between two defenders. It was a rhythm pass. It had to be on time, perfect ball location. That was a dime. In terms of that last play, I don't believe what he says. I'm calling BS on him. Was a third down or that was a third down or second down play. But regardless,
Second, I can't remember. Yeah.
Regardless, the play before that, what did they do? Spiked the ball.
Yeah.
So if your plan is to run clock and kick a field goal right there, you don't spike the ball the play before. What I am sure of, 1,000% sure of, is that Daniel Carson was 1 for 4 in that game. We didn't touch the red zone one time. Daniel Carson was 1 for 4 in that game. All 3 of his misses were from 50 yards plus. If we kicked the field goal right there, it would have been at 49 yards. Antonio Pierce did not want to take the chance of him potentially missing another field goal and costing them the game. What they were going to try to do was steal 5 or 6 more yards, get the ball a little bit closer, and then kick the field goal. But what they're not going to do is say that in the media and say we don't have faith in Daniel Carlson to make that field goal.
That's true.
Because what that will do is potentially destroy his confidence. Daniel Carlson, the first game of his career was with the Minnesota Vikings, right? What did he do in that game? Went 1 for 4. What subsequently happened? He got cut. And that's how we ended up with him anyway, because we had drafted the kicker out of Florida, whose name escapes me. We drafted the kicker out of Florida, and then we brought in Carlson.
Was it Eddie Pinero?
Eddie Pinero.
Was it Eddie? Is Eddie?
Nah,
yeah.
It was something like that. Yeah, something like that. So we drafted him, and then Daniel Carlson took his spot. But Daniel Carlson went 1 for 4 in that game. So what we're not going to do is destroy his confidence for a guy that's, him and AJ Cole probably been our 2 best players, right?
Right.
He's probably been our 2 best player, right?
Yeah.
So, so I think that obviously, I think that was the plan, and I think they made sure that they protected Daniel Carlson in that situation. They didn't throw him under the bus, and didn't show that they didn't have faith in him to make that field goal. He's a guy that's been rock solid for this organization since he's got here.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point, because Daniel Carlson did struggle that game, and if you think about it, if he was able to at least hit 2 of his field goals, like
1 more,
you know what I mean? Offensively, look, the whole conversation last Tuesday on 50/50 show, make sure to check it out every Tuesday evenings, was the fact that the offense looked better, but people were like, oh, we scored 17 points. What people fail to realize is like we were able to move the ball. You know what I mean? It felt like we had longer drives. We were able to run the ball better. We missed field goals. And you could argue like, we should probably score touchdowns. But look, if we hit our field goals, how many points we scored? Like 26 on the road against one of the best defenses in the NFL? Like,
score 26 in a game, you should win.
Exactly. But you could argue like, man, that's tough. That's tough, man, because like you're aggressive in that situation, and it came back to bite you. A turnover.
You know what? One thing that we're not talking about and maybe we need to talk about that a little bit more. And I'm not trying to start nothing,
Right.
but once again, we saw poor game management from Antonio Pierce. At the end of that game, he called a timeout that didn't need to be called, and we had 0 timeouts with the ball to win the game. If we would have had an extra timeout, you can call timeout in that situation, regroup yourself at the very least, and then you set yourself up for a field goal. Or run something else, take your time, run something else, and maybe a run play, maybe a draw play, get yourself in a better position for a field goal, call timeout, and set yourself up for a mid 40-yard field goal to win the game. So we got to start looking at some of that game management that's been plaguing Antonio Pierce all season. There's a handful of scenarios where Antonio Pierce, we start questioning what he's done as far as game management at the end of games. The Chargers game, the Rams game, like there's a bunch of different things to where we look at Antonio Pierce as like, bro, we love you, man, but are you a head coach in this league? I don't know. That's something that we got to really start questioning, and we'll see at the end of the season if the brass feels like he's that guy moving forward. But I'm not liking what I see as far as game management from Antonio Pierce.
Yeah. And then how does the dynamic between him and the guy that's hired to manage the game for him? You know what I mean? There is someone on staff. What is that dynamic? Like, what is he saying? Does it go through Antonio Pierce's headset and he just okays it, or like how does that work? I really can't. It's hard to say because we're everybody is kind of critical of Antonio Pierce, but then there's a guy on staff that's supposed to help him his first year at it. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. Like his first year manage a game, and then look at how the Raiders have done.
I mean, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be real with you. I never even heard of such a title until this season. I thought that maybe you get with your offensive or defensive coordinator and like, hey, what are you seeing? I'm gonna call timeout here. What am I doing here? You kind of work with the coordinators in that sort of manner and make decisions based on that. Or, hey, I'm calling a timeout because I'm a head coach in the NFL, and the scenario dictates for me to call timeout in this situation. To me, I never understood the idea of having a game coordinator. To me, that just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just the fan in me, that maybe I'm not seeing it from a different lens, from the professional level. But I've never heard anything like that. And we need to have some more accountability from our head coach to go in there and put his foot down and be like, we're not going with that. We're not going to make a call here. We're going to make a call here. Like, I'm not seeing that from Antonio Pierce. That's kind of my problem with it right now. So it remains to be seen. We got 5 more games. He's still fighting for his job. He hasn't lost his locker room. These guys are playing for him, so that does matter. But the game management's got to improve, man. It's got to improve.
You think he's coming back?
Yeah, I think he'll be back next year.
Okay, all right, man. It's rumorville left and right, man, right now. So everybody's talking about, the whole building might be let go. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which would be crazy. After 1 year, you fire a GM who had a pretty solid draft.
Hell of a draft.
Very solid, man.
Are you okay? As time goes on, we're seeing the production of this draft. I mean, obviously the first 3 are like starting. What do you think of the other draft picks? I mean, Lobby hasn't really contributed. He did have a nice little special team return. Hopefully we'll be able to see him incorporated into the offense. Cameron Richardson is getting some meaningful snaps at corner. Devonshire, is he even with the team? Is he even on the practice squad? I'm not even sure he's on.
That's a good question. I think he is on the practice squad.
Trey Taylor, you know what I mean? Like, is this a guy that we need to see these guys play at some point? Like,
I look at it this way. So your first 3 round picks are probably a top 100 pick. Check that off the box. We got an all-pro at a first round pick. We got a rising star in the second round pick in JPJ, and DJ Glaze is playing his ass off as a 3rd round pick. He's playing better than I expected. And then,
Yeah.
you start getting to those mid rounds where you got DeCamry Richardson in the 4th round, and, he's getting some meaningful reps. That's what you want to see from a 4th round pick at the very least, is some guy that you can develop and can come in there and get some meaningful snaps here and there, right? Check that off the box. 5th round pick, Tommy Eichenberg. We haven't seen nearly enough of him.
I've seen it.
I know how you feel about that pick, right? Like, Sabir, I know how you feel about it, right? But we haven't seen Eichenberg too much, but it's a 5th round pick. 6th round pick, Dylan Lobby. He's doing pretty much status quo, what you expect a 6th round pick to do. Special teams guy. He's going in there, bounce back from practice squad to roster. To me, it seems like this draft was a success. I give it an A. I give it an A. Now the 7th round picks, MJ Devonshire and Trey Taylor. It'd be great to have those guys on the field as a 7th round picks, but you're not expecting that, from your 7th round guys. Those are guys that, diamond in the rough. Hopefully you get somebody, you find something special in that 7th round, but more than likely they're going to be on the practice squad or somebody you have to develop for a couple years. So I give this draft to A, man. And Tom Telesco, I think he did a hell of a job with the draft. Now he whiffed when it came to, locating the quarterback in free agency. And I mean, you can argue that contract he gave our D tackle, the one that got hurt. I can't think of Wilkins. Yeah, it may have been a little steep. You can argue and say that, but besides that, the draft he's building for the future. I trust him in what he's going to be doing with the draft in the next couple of years.
Yeah, man, it'll be crazy because when I heard that, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, man, that'd be crazy to let go Telesco. That's just not good. That's not how you just run your franchise. You can't just jump the gun just because, all right, you know what, we got new people in the building that want to go a different direction. You got to let it play out. You never know. You might have something good with Telesco and in that whole front office, because it's just not Telesco that's in that front office. It's also former interim GM Champ Kelly, who's an assistant GM, and there's been some nice pickups. Clavon Chaseon, he's been contributing on defense. Yeah. Do you give that credit to Telesco or do you give it to Champ Kelly? We talked about it on the other show, Severe. I was thinking about it like, man, like we've been having nice pickups since last season. I'm like, maybe this is Champ Kelly's value here. Where he comes in and he finds these diamond in the roughs here and there that people are looking at as afterthoughts, and he's given an opportunity and they're being they're productive with us. So we'll see how it shakes out. There's a lot of talk, man. Everybody's talking about all types of different scenarios. When you're losing, like the Raiders have been losing, the off season pretty much starts right now. You know what I mean? If it hasn't
for
started
answers,
already.
man.
Exactly. But we do have a game on Sunday against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Man, it's on the road, 10 a.m. game. It's tough. Yeah. Historically speaking, we're used to like the Raiders kind of not really showing up to 10 a.m. games, but recent history, they kind of had, they've played hard they're playing hard for Pierce. So we don't know. Hey, anything goes this game. Yeah. What are you? Let's get into the injury report. Let's actually get into the injury report real quick before we get into like what we want to see from this game. Hold on, let's see. Put this here. Boom. Let me move this out the way. Oh, my bad. We'll talk about that later.
Brock Bowers, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Brock Bowers, man. Dude's a monster. But
man,
all right. So this is the injury report, and it's like looking too good, man. My guy Nate Hobbs did not practice Wednesday, Thursday, and doesn't look like he might practice on Friday, but we'll see. Madison is coming back. Hopefully, Sincere McCormick is the lead back. I don't care if Madison comes back. I think he should be in a more supporting role.
Agreed.
I do want to see Zamir in with Scott Turner and the boys calling plays. You know what I mean? The Turners, Norv and Scott. Yeah. Kind of like they're running a little bit more power blocking scheme. So I'm like, all right, let's see what Zamir can do under that. Maybe because that's all we heard. Like, he doesn't fit this scheme. So like, all right, well, if they made some adjustments, and he better be playing well with those adjustments. But we haven't had an opportunity to really see that because he's been hurt. And he hasn't practiced all week, so he's probably going to miss this week. Meredith on the injury report, he's good to go. Man, nice bright spot on the offensive line. Probably one of the reasons why the O-line is playing well right now. Running the football, all that good stuff. Jacoby, I don't like this. Did not practice on Thursday. Yeah. We'll keep eye on Friday, but Jacoby is big, especially for our guy. The franchise QB is some Raider Nation want to call him Aiden O'Connell. That's his guy, man. His chemistry. Oh, Aiden O'Connell? Oh no. Is it gonna be Desmond Ridder football? Hey man, he's illness.
That's illness, man. It's illness. So
he's good.
He if he don't play because of illness, bro. Oh, bro.
Severe gonna be on it, huh?
Bro. Yeah, man.
I know. But you know what? Desmond Ridder, he plays a familiar team. You know what I mean? Like his time with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
You know, he's familiar with if he gets to start. But I think he should be good to go. Aiden is going to be good to go. I want to see Aiden play. I actually want to see how he develops with this with Scott. It seemed like they did some good things since because they've what has it been 2 games that we've seen Scott Turner and Norv Turner kind of like calling the shots, calling plays. So I want to see how that looks like against the Bucs this Sunday. Amir Abdullah is good to go, fully practiced.
That's good.
But it's some key injuries here, and I want to see Nate Hobbs. This is gonna. I feel bad for him, man. Nate Hobbs is contract year.
Yeah,
and it's just, man. Hopefully the Raiders can bring him back. I think he should come back, man. I think he's one of those dudes in the locker room that, like, you know, he's a good locker room dude, and I think he's one of the when he's out there, he's one of the better slot corners. Any surprises from the injury report from what you guys are seeing?
I didn't think Jacoby Myers was hurt like that. I know that he's been dealing with some injuries all season, but it's disappointing to see him on the injury report again. Hopefully he's back in action by Sunday. He's been a bright spot when he is on the field, and you know, if we're trying to win games, man, we need him out there.
Yeah, facts.
Oh,
facts.
So you're saying we don't need him out there? That's what you're telling me.
Hey, I didn't say you said it,
show. It's
Brock Bowers show.
It's the Brock Bowers show, man. But Jacoby for sure got to be out there, man. Aiden O'Connell will have a heart attack. But Tampa Bay Bucks, let's see what they got going. They're kind of banged up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Linebacker, safety did not practice. Mike Evans, something to keep an eye on right now. He hasn't practiced all week with a hamstring calf. He's kind of been banged up this season.
Yeah.
So that's
whole team has.
Bucky Irving.
They've been resting them. Yeah, they've been resting them. So I think Mike Evans will go. Bucky Irving is a question though.
Yeah, nice rookie running back for them, and he hasn't practiced all week, so that's big. Yeah. You know, Mayfield is on the injury report, but he's good to go. Practice all week. Man, they're pretty banged up. Man, Tristan Wirfs. Max Crosby.
That might be a problem. That might
Max
be a problem.
Crosby
I mean,
show?
shoot, Chase on. I mean, let's just be honest. Like either side, the way they've been playing on the edges.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
that might be a problem.
Tyree Wilson, you know what I mean? Does he take advantage of?
Tyree Wilson show, baby.
Tyree Wilson couldn't take advantage of third string tight ends in preseason. Like he about to.
Mike, like, you like what you're seeing from Tyree? Does he look to improve? Because I know before the season we had this conversation. You weren't really too high on Tyree, which rightfully so. He hasn't really shown anything where it makes you think like, man, this guy, this potential is through the roof. Like we haven't seen that from him. And then, but do you see a gradual improvement from him?
I mean, look, I need to look at the film. I need to really assess what is going on with him. But he's putting stats on the board, you know. So if you're looking solely at stats, the man's improving, you know. Yeah. But one thing I had problems with him is that he doesn't have a second move. And from what I've seen from him all season, even last game, he still has the bull rush, and he doesn't put a second move on a guy. And that's my problem with Tyree Wilson is that he just doesn't. And his motor is questionable too. So that's kind of that's what I'm looking at with Tyree Wilson. I got to look at the film to confirm that, but that's kind of where I'm at with Tyree Wilson, man. But I'm wishing him the best, man. I'm hoping I'm wrong about it, but I was ready to let him go earlier this season via trade, man.
I'm telling you, man.
I hear you, man. But yeah, the Bucks do got some injuries. I know Severe. He was like quick to because I was like, man, Tyree looked like he made plays, and then the chat, the nation, Severe were like, nah, this dude's good at rushing the QB with nobody blocking him. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, if ain't nobody blocking Tyree, that man's unblockable.
Man.
Oh man.
That's hilarious.
Nasty work, man. Nasty work.
But yeah, man, we just hope that he gets better. But at this point, man, he doesn't look like a number 7 overall pick, man. There's no way that he's gonna be better than Jalen Carter, guys that were obviously taken after him, and not even Jalen Carter. Like even the corner from the Patriots took.
Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah, man, it's just like
And the whole ACL, I'd rather have that.
I will say this though.
Last year towards ACL.
Oh,
last year, Christian.
Yeah.
But I'd still rather have him.
But before he got hurt, though, he was playing well. That's the thing. Like he was showing signs of like, man, like the Patriots had. What were you gonna say, Severe?
I will say this though. There's a certain cornerback. Matter of fact, cornerback that got taken ahead of Christian Gonzalez, who I said was trash. I compared him to DeMarcus Van Dyke, and just this week,
got cut.
He was cut. Emmanuel Forbes.
Yeah.
Damn.
He got cut. I said he was no good. I said I just watched the film. Like his interceptions, it was like weren't plays where he was making plays on the ball. It was like tip pass and stuff like that. Where it's like it was lucky. Like very few of them were like, oh, I made a play on the ball. I read a coverage. Or I jumped a route. It was like, the quarterback throw it right to him. Like or the tip pass, he cut the ball, interception.
Yeah,
so
I was a fan of his. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Yeah, a lot of people were. A lot of people in the nation were because they saw the ball. They saw the ball production. They saw the most interception return touchdowns. Like he broke the record for that. So, oh man, this guy's he's a playmaker. He's but
right.
Nah, man. Nah.
Not good.
Not good at all. I'm telling you, man. Like Michael, watch the film, man. Like I was telling Pharaoh, like of his. I think he had 2 sacks. Both of them came on stunts where Adam Butler was a pick man. He basically took out 2 guys.
Set him up, yeah.
Yeah. Tyree loops around, nobody's blocking him, and then I think he had a tackle for loss. Basically, it was I think they were trying to run a jet sweep, and I will give Tyree credit. He stayed home, so he didn't bite on the action. He showed discipline there, but basically took 2 steps to his tackle for loss. So. I'm not impressed with Tyree at all, man. So we'll see. I think Charles Snowden and Kayvon Chasen might take advantage of whoever Tristan Wirfs' replacement is. I don't know about Tyree though. I don't know about Tyree.
Yeah, man. It's just one of them situations where you're just you're hoping for the best, man. We hoping we get something out of there, but man, he literally. He has 5 more games. He got 5 more games. He's gonna get a lot of snaps, but at this point, I don't see him. Like if we obviously if we re-sign Kuntz is gonna get way more snaps. Chaseon, if we can bring him back, you know what I mean. He's earned the right to come back to this team and add depth to this team. I'd rather have Chaseon out there over Tyree. You know what I mean? Just because he's gonna. Charles Snowden, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's developing. He's a guy that was he undrafted last year? Was he undrafted?
I think he was undrafted.
He was undrafted. So older
Denarius Robinson too.
Denarius Robinson, you know what I mean? Solid role player right there. So that's like, man, Tyree, where does he kind of fit in there? Does he change? Does he make a position change? Does he go to D tackle? I will say this though, I did like Tyree talking trash. Was it against the rookie QB? I like that. That was
a start. It's a start.
Yeah, it's something. It's something, man. Something he can build.
Tyree sets a solid edge in the run game. I give him that. He sets a solid edge in the run game. But like this reminds me of, I don't remember. It was a segment me and you did Pharaoh on. I want to say it was on a 50-50 show. I want to say, and it was talking about Nate Hobbs when they were talking about ball players who they would pick. And then they asked about Tyree, and it was like, man, hell no, Tyree stiff as hell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember
This
that.
this is on Max's show, Max's pod.
Yeah.
Max's show, man. He was talking about how
man.
stiff Tyree was.
Oh man,
And we should have known then.
But
Like,
the way they was talking
bro.
trash, they damn near called him just trash overall. Like, this dude is trash. Like, he just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yo, he plays football like one of them electric football players. Like,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? Like, there's no kind of. It's just mechanical as hell, bro. Like,
that's funny.
Man, that's
funny,
hilarious, man.
That's funny. But hey, like I said, we're playing the Bucks this week, 10 a.m. game. I mean, what, Mike? I guess you could start it off, man. What are you looking forward to this game? Like, what do you want to see out of this game? You know, the season right now, it's like right now we're just fighting for draft position. But if you're watching the game and people that's watching the show, they're watching the team, what should they look forward to? What should they be looking for? You know what I mean? Outside of wins and losses.
You know, right now, just look at the development of our youngsters, man. And that starts with JPJ up front. You know, seeing him develop and getting better at the center position, because he's going to be the center of the future. You can say bye-bye to Andre James. You're never going to see him again, you know. And then you got, you know, DJ Glaze. If he's out there doing his thing, let's see some more development from here. Brock Bowers continuing to make a case for himself for the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I want to see at least 10 catches, you know, get him the ball a bunch of times. I want to see him get some touchdowns on the board. That'll help his case. And then Sincere McCormick, let's feed him the ball, man. It seems like the more he gets the ball, the better he is. Who would have thought that Sincere McCormick was going to be our best running back on this roster all season? Turns out to be the case. You know, so I want to see some more Sincere McCormick. See, you know, maybe we got a running back 2 or running back 3 in the future with Sincere McCormick. So let's keep feeding him the ball. Let's see what we got in him. Defense, I love watching Max Crosby play football, man. This dude, his motor is just, you know, off the chart. You know, continue doing what you're doing. Keep playing inspire football. This defense, despite what the offense is giving you, because the defense, let's just be honest, man. For the exception of maybe a couple games, they've played really inspired football. They really, you know, they're shorthanded, but anybody that's out on that field, they're playing hard. So I just want to continue seeing the defense playing hard-nosed football and giving these teams a hard time. Do I want to see them win? Nah, I don't want to see them win at this point. But, you know, I want to see the Raiders play hard, man. I want to see them play hard, and that's really all that matters to me.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Because even when I was watching that Chiefs game, I totally forgot about the draft position. I was like, man, this is. I was kind of celebrating a little bit when they was like making some of these big plays, and Aiden, who you know, you could say in the past like you were questioning his downfield accuracy, and he was able to hit on some couple of deep shots. So it's like, man, we in the game. Aiden is bringing us back. I'm like, man, this is nice to see. But then in the end, they lost, and I was kind of like, man, that's an ugly way to lose. But long-term view, hey, man, we got the number 2 pick right now. Let's not mess this up right now. This is all part of the plan. Let's get the franchise QB or get a young QB who could to add more talent to that room, because a lot of people talking about Aiden and he might be answered. Why would you risk that? You know what I mean? Why would you risk just say, oh, Aiden is a guy, we should go somewhere else with that? Like, nah. Like, what have you seen from Aiden? And I guess I'll say this. I do want to see how Aiden looks with Scott Turner and Norv Turner and how he develops under this offense. Like you said, McCormick is definitely a guy I want to see. I want to see Dylan Lobby get involved. Come on, let's figure it out. Like this, give him the ball. Like, let him catch a ball out the backfield. Set up a screen pass. Like, let him run the football. Like we've been saying it pretty much the majority of the season since we've kind of been in our minds. We felt like the season was over. Let the young players play. You know what I mean? And I want to see Brock. I want to see Brock we'll get into Brock Bowers, but Brock needs to be the number one option, the number two option. He needs to get the ball early and often. I mean, Severe, if you want to add on to that, what are you expecting out of this game? What do you want to see out of this game?
Yeah, man, I want to see Brock go crazy. I want to see. There's only 18 players in the NFL, or 18 rookies in NFL history that have had more than 200 yards in a single game. I want Brock to join that list. I would say I want him to break the rookie receiving record for a single game, but that is not going to happen because it's 266 yards by Jamar Chase. So that's not happening,
bro.
That's not happening. But I want to see him go for I want to see him go for 200 plus. If he goes for 200 plus, he would already have the single game rookie tight end receiving or single season rookie tight end record. I think Mike Ditka has 1,076 yards. We did it in 14 games. So Brock would have truly beat it, because he would have done it in less games as well. So it'd be like a true record right there. So I love for him to have that. And, I want to see what Aiden does. Hopefully he can, in the NFL, it's all about consistency. It's not about, these single game bursts. See him put together some consistent performances. Even though I don't think he's, the future of our franchise at the quarterback position, I still think he's a guy that should stick around. I think he's a guy that's going to be a very good backup. I think he'll be good in that role. He's not a guy that has an ego or anything like that. He's a good locker room guy. He's good communicator. He's intelligent guy, obviously. Played a lot of ball in college. So I think he understands the quarterback position well. I think he's a guy that's one day he will be a coach. I think one day he'll be a good coach. But I still want him to stick around the organization. So hopefully he can build on that, kind of keep his confidence going. I think you guys brought up Sincere already, kind of see what Sincere does. I want to see what, if Adam Butler and Caleb Von Chasen can continue to do what they're doing, right? I want to see those guys flourish. I think those are two guys, and we talked about it on the 50-50 show, two guys we should bring back. And then Jordan Meredith, man, I think that guy is a guy that, we were looking at that guard position. I think we have one of our guard positions solidified. Dylan Parham, I think he's a guy that's going to be replaced. I think Jordan Meredith is a guy that we should move forward with at that left guard position. So I want to see, him continue to play well. And obviously, JPJ and DJ Glaze. And see if DCam, he had a little bit of a rough go of things. D Hop kind of took him to school. He has another, future Hall of Famer coming his way likely this week in Mike Evans. Let's see how he handles that matchup.
Yeah, man, you brought up some good points. Man, I do want to see. I forgot to mention this, man. I want to see Michael Mayer involved, man. Let's figure out a way to get him involved in the game. I think we all recognize that he's a talented player, but obviously he went through some things this season, probably threw him off, and then obviously Getsy and the whole offensive issue. But I want to see if he can be involved, because I know Severe the other day you were talking about how well he's been blocking as a tight end. Maybe start play action. Get Michael Mayer in red zone. You know what I mean? All these issues that we're having in red zone, we're kicking field goals. Get this big target to football. And I know Aiden has a certain level of chemistry with Michael Mayer. There's a certain level of familiarity. I felt like there was a couple games ago when Minshew was there. There was a few times that Mayer was open and he missed them. One of them was like a walk. It felt like it was a walk-in touchdown. Hopefully we can get him back, get him involved and get his confidence up. And yeah, man, I want to see if the Raiders can develop a 2 tight end, 12 personnel. Remember, we were going into the season like, man, we got our own version of Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you got y'all understand where I'm coming from there? I mean, we thought we're gonna have a offense where we're gonna get the tight end involved. We're gonna run the football well. Right now, we're kind of running the football well. Let's get the tight end. Now that 12 personnel might be a factor. You know what I mean? If Norv and Scott Turner are recognizing and calling it, because they feel like they've been calling it good game last couple games that they've taken over. Now they're on the road. 10 a.m. game. Todd Bowles, defensive-minded coach. You know he's going to throw all types of blitzes against Aiden. Hopefully he's able to handle that. But, you know, hey, a quarterback's best friend is a running game and a tight end. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we can see that. But yeah, man.
But I know you said you were hoping we had our own version of Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. But hell, we do. It's just that it's in one player. It's just in one player. They're both in the one guy. So we got our own version. We just.
I will say that I will say this, man. I wouldn't put money on it, but look, man. I really think that Brock can get over 200 yards receiving. He's getting open so easy.
I think he can.
And he's getting open at different levels of the field. Like it's not just the short game. It's the intermediate, the deep. Like he is, and
he's routing corners.
Exactly.
Against some of the better corners. I think it's going to take some long like catches or some long catch and runs for him to do it.
Right.
Because they're going to start. They're already starting to double him. Already starting to kind of roll coverage over to his way. So it's going to take some long completions for him to do it. Because I don't think they're not going to let him catch enough passes to do it. Or they're going to try and keep everything short. So. But if he gets some long completions, he can do it.
It's not even just the long completion. Here's the thing. What is Brock known for?
The rack.
His yak. You know what I mean? And we haven't really fully seen it. We've seen it in spurts. Like, man, he breaks tackles. And we going into it, we knew that he had that ability. But, maybe this might be the game where he breaks a couple of tackles and takes it to the house. Yeah. You know what I mean? We it's possible. But we'll get into Brock. We'll get into Brock Bowers later on in the show, man. But yeah, man, that's it for this game, man. We gotta make sure to clock in, like the thumbs, man. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. But we got Around the Nation. This is where we talk about what's going on around Raider Nation and what's being talked about. And Mike, you threw this out as earlier. You were talking about the conversation that was being held with at the McAfee show, right? Pat McAfee. What was going on there?
So, our good old guy, Michael Lombardi, strikes again. So this was based on a report from the Bleacher Report that came out regarding Jim Harbaugh, head coach of the Chargers, that he was eyeballing two teams. One was the Bears, and the other one was the good old Las Vegas Raiders. Now, a lot of people believe that he wasn't even looking at us at the beginning of the season. And according to this report, that wasn't the case. Jim Harbaugh was interested, and the Raiders weren't, simply put. I don't know if you want to play with good old Michael Lombardi, our favorite guy of Raider Nation. You want to play what he said. You can go ahead and roll it, bro.
Yeah, Lombo, just curious, what'd you think of the whole Matt Eberflus no timeout deal on Thanksgiving? And then there was also a report that came out today, I think from Dan McNeil, that said Jim Harbaugh was interested in the Bears job, or at least talking to them in January, and Kevin Warren just kind of nixed that. I don't know if that's the Ohio State-Michigan deal. But are you confident that the Bears are going to make the right hire this upcoming cycle? Because we've been led to believe that Kevin Warren is going to have like a massive hand in hiring their next head
Remember,
coach.
Kevin Warren was deciding the feng shui of the suites in the new stadium on Hard Knocks. Watching it.
You can do that, and you can run a team. Look, Kevin Warren's running a team. Let's make no mistake about that. Okay, you can sit there and say that somebody else is, he is. And that story that was written about Jim Harbaugh is completely true. Now, remember, Warren and Harbaugh, Warren being the commissioner of the Big Ten, and Harbaugh had some differences. And I think it let it spill over. But there were two teams that Jim Harbaugh would have loved to work for, I'm sure, last year. The Bears, who he played for and was the number one pick for, and then the Las Vegas Raiders, who he worked for in his first coaching job. Neither team decided to go after him. Why, I don't know. To me, if you're Kevin Warren, the object of this is to get the best coach available. And Jim Harbaugh would have been the best coach for your team. Now, you would have had to fire Eberflus. Let's go back to the end of the game.
Good old Michael Lombardi, man. He strikes again.
And it's funny, they were focused on the Bears, but he had to bring up the Raiders. You know what I mean? He had to throw it in there. But to be honest with you, man, when I hear this, and I read a little bit of the report, It's a little bit of like it's just when it rains it pours. You know, this is what gets me when it comes to the Raider hate. Some people kind of take the obvious, like, oh, you know, the refs, you know, and I get this, but stuff like this, come on, man. He's gonna go to the team that has an established quarterback, even if I'm sure that he maybe had interests in the Raiders and Bears, but the Raiders and probably the Bears even knew like he was probably going to use them as leverage because that's what Jim Harbaugh likes to do. The Raiders had interest in the past, or not just the Raiders. I think he interviewed for the Vikings. This is when at the time when they hired Josh McDaniels. He went one or two rounds of interviews with the Vikings. They figured out real soon, like, oh yeah, this guy is not interested in probably interested in becoming a head coach. He's just trying to get a better deal with Michigan so he could finish out his, you know, Michigan career with a championship, which he did. You know, respect to him. Exactly. But at the end of the day, even if the Raiders were to go all out and try to bring Jim Harbaugh in, it would just been leverage for him to get a better deal with San Diego. I mean, San Diego of Los Angeles.
You said it right. You said it right the first time.
San Diego of Los Angeles. But yeah, it is what it is, man. I just think that it's just like, oh yeah, the report comes out later that, oh yeah, the Raiders were one of those teams that they just knew that he was not that interested. It is what it is. Like, they're gonna use him as leverage. But what are your thoughts on him, man? Mike, you want to chime in on this?
You know what this reminds me of, man, and they do this to a lot. You know, we were talking about how the Raiders were interested in Jaden Daniels off air, and then they were going to offer, you know, these amount of draft picks and this and that. You know what this seems like to me? I don't know if you guys ever experienced this, but it's the girl way down the line, like, man, I used to have a crush on you back in the day. You're like, wait, for real? Like, you didn't tell me back then? Like, why? Like, why are you telling me now? What is that helping me now? You know? That's the same case. Like, what is it helping the Raiders now for you to mention, oh, you could have had Jim Harbaugh. Oh, you could have had Jaden Daniels, you know, possibility, you know, with a number of draft picks and this and that. Like, I feel like every single year, you know, they hit us with this type of news. You know, we can name it year after year. Last year it was the CJ Stroud stuff, you know? So every year it just seems like, hey, well, you could have had this, but you didn't. You know, so you kind of add that to the list, and I don't know how legit that is, but it's the media's way of almost kind of sticking it to us, knowing that we're gonna click on the article if it's involved with the Raiders, and two, it's just the blatant hate for us too. So you know, that's what we're getting, man, and until we win, maybe that'll stop at some point.
And it's not just the media; it's Harbaugh's team. You know what I mean? Why is this report coming out now? Like, they probably felt disrespected that they didn't offer him even an interview, or they didn't, you know, there wasn't the interest that he would like. But in the end, though, was he really interested? No,
not.
He wasn't really interested coming to the Raiders because we don't have what every coach wants to come to a team that has an established quarterback. I mean, Severe, you could chime in on this, man. I know your favorite example is Ben Johnson, for example. You think, you know, you're like quick to say that, you know, Ben Johnson, is he coming to the Raiders? Do you, no, probably not. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, if you want to speak to this real quick.
Yeah, man, I don't believe this for a second. And it's like kind of like Mike said, and like you were saying as well, it's one of those situations where I think Harbaugh's people are putting it out there. Just kind of, you know, he has the Chargers winning. The Bears and the Raiders are both struggling. Just wants to, rub some salt in your wound. Like, I'm not with you guys. Like, you know, so I think it's kind of one of those situations. We knew from the beginning, like, people had speculated, like, all along. Like, they looked at the things he had said about Justin Herbert, talking about how he loved to coach the guy and all like, the accolades. He was just showering on Justin Herbert. And so they knew that, like, if he had an opportunity to go to that team, he was going to go there. And that's exactly what happened, right? They already have an established franchise quarterback. We were a team and you know that's it's still kind of in transition, right? Still in going through that as we speak. We don't have an established quarterback. You know, there are other holes on our roster as well. There are question marks all over the place. We're just coming off a tumultuous season, so I didn't see him coming here. You know, but yeah, I don't like. I don't understand why it's coming out now. Like what he gets out of this outside of, you know, just kind of puffing his chest out. It just it just makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like you said, they just love to throw our names and that stuff like that because they know the Raiders. Like Mike alluded to, we have a diehard fan base. If we see something Raiders related, you know, it's something that's going to be polarizing. You know, that's going to kind of drive conversation. It's going to gain traction. And you know, it's good for them, right? It's good for them. It's going to get people talking. We're talking about it now, right? And you know that this is so it had a desired result, but like Mike said, it's like that. Like you ever had a homeboy that was talking to a girl, and she you know she not putting out or whatever. And then, like, the one time he don't go out with her or don't, like, simp to her, he's like, oh, I'm glad you didn't come because I was so drunk. I don't know what I would have did or something like that. Like, oh, really? Of the other 100 times this dude done simped for you and got nothing out of return. This one time, he was whatever he wanted to do was going to have, like, get out of here with that. It's one of those situations, right? One of those situations. So it's like, man, like we done did this song and dance with Harbaugh on multiple occasions, and all those times he rebuffed our advances. This one time, I guess he was just really drunk that day, and he would have, so it's like, come on, bro.
Right.
Come on, man.
And just to chime in on that part of it, it all started when he got fired from the Niners.
Yeah.
And Mark Davis really was interested in hiring him. But, you know, at the time, you know, there's only so much he could do as far as negotiating in season. And he obviously went to Michigan, and he's been with Michigan ever since. And there have been a couple of times where the Raiders had a obviously coaching vacancy. And, you know, Harbaugh, like, you know, it is what it is, man. Look what Kingsbury did. Look what Cliff just did.
Yeah.
Cliff was the offensive coordinator for the Raiders until he was not. Because Washington Commanders came calling like, oh, y'all have the number 2 pick. Most likely it's going to be Caleb or Jaden Daniels. I'm good with that. Yeah. That's going to revitalize my career as an offensive coordinator and possibly head coach in the future. That makes more sense than going to the Raiders, who don't have a quarterback. They're probably one of the worst quarterback room in the NFL as it is right now. And their number 13th pick, their chance of getting a quarterback is going to be hard because all these teams in front of them want a QB.
Yep.
It's just is what it is, bro.
You know what this reminds me of? This is very off-season-ish. This is very off-season-ish. This is the type of news that we see in May and June, and that just tells me that the season is over. Yeah. That's just what that means. And I hate to say it, the season is done, man. We're getting May, June-ish type of news in November and December.
The Raiders are 2-10, bro. Like 2-10.
Yeah,
it's over.
The season's done, and Bleacher Report, shout out to them. They pressed the Raiders button. They pressed the Raiders news button. They had to dust off the button, you know, like, hey, we don't usually press this button till like May or June, bro. Nah, bro. Right. Hey, we need this right now. Click that damn button, man. Let's get something going. So, yeah, that's what it is, man. It's a non-news situation, but you know, it's nice to talk about good old Mike Lombardi, man, our best friend, man. It's good to talk about him.
And it was funny because none of them brought up the Raiders. None of them. You peeped that? Like, no one brought up the Raiders. They're talking about Chicago. And he's like, yeah, there were 2 teams.
Exactly.
I was like, golly, like, what are you trying to, man?
He's like,
he really hates the Raiders.
Dry snitching.
Straight dry snitching. Hey, I know you saw who did it, right? Yeah, he was wearing a hat and he was a black guy. He was wearing black and he was black.
Like, I didn't know we take our lunch now until I saw Mike do it.
Man.
Like what?
Man.
Like nobody.
Man. Like why didn't you even mention it, man?
Exactly.
Man.
Bro.
Man. At this point, man, the Raiders season is going to come down to this.
Exactly.
That's the sound I want to hear.
Yo,
I was
April
like,
can't come fast enough, bro.
With the number 2 pick, the Raiders select.
Man.
You know what I mean? So-and-so QB, man. We'll see, man. We'll see how it shakes out. But you know what? Let's actually have that conversation. You know what I mean? There's been talk of, you know, going with the best player available. Tom Telesco special. And that necessarily doesn't have to be a QB. We don't know where the Raiders are going to end up when it's all said and done. You know what I mean? Just how competitive, I don't know if you want to call it competitive, but like how close the draft positions are. Like if the Raiders win a game, they're literally going to probably drop down to like number 9, number 8 from number 2. That's how like close it is.
Yeah.
Are you going best player available, or are you trying to get a QB with the first round pick?
So it depends. It depends. If we mess around and win some games, and we look at we're in the inside of the top 10, you got to go BPA. You got to go best player available, because in that situation you're gonna miss out on a Cam Ward. You're gonna miss out on a Shedeur Sanders. You're gonna miss out on a Travis Hunter. Now I will say this.
Well, let me add more context. Let me add more context. Not to cut you off. When I say best player available, it's non-quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then obviously, you know, the other option would be to get the QB that the Raiders want. It could be from the Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Jalen Monroe.
Yeah.
You know, you can keep going.
So scenario, right? If we're at number 8, 9, something like that, right? 7, 8, 9, something, whatever, right?
Right.
We better not reach for a Jalen Milroe just for the fact that he's available. Like, we need to. I would rather go with best player available. If that means we have to get Ashton Genty, I'm not really big on getting a running back that early, but best player available. If he's literally the best player available in that situation, go ahead and fill up a need and get that running back in that situation. Now, if we're picking like 3 or something, you know, and depending on how things are kind of unfolding, then, you know, Travis Hunter, you know, depending on, you know, position and things like that. But I will say this. This is the year where the Raiders have to be aggressive in the draft. They have to move up somehow to get their guy. If that means that you have to give up the 26 draft pick to move up, like, you got to do it this year. This is the year that there's no excuses at this point. Yeah. Now, is the quarterback of the future? Are there some like legit franchise guys at quarterback coming out this year? You can argue and say not, right? But we cannot go next year with the same kind of outcome that we've been doing for the last 2 years. You know, and I don't care if Sam Darnold, he's a free agent, he's been playing well. It ain't gonna work out when we do it. That's just how I see it. So let's not even go that route. Maybe, you know, and it'll be tempting to go with a Stafford in that situation, right? He might be a free agent. Maybe that's an okay pick. I'm okay with that one because, well, he's like a fringe top 10 quarterback still to this day. So, but for some reason, I'm like, let's not go that route because it just doesn't work when we do it. So, you know, be aggressive and get the quarterback. If it don't work out, it doesn't hurt you as much as when we were picking like a Jamarcus Russell back in 2006, where it really set us back like 5-6 years. It's a different age this year. We can really come out of it in 2 years and, okay, maybe we just need another quarterback. It didn't work out. Let's just move on. You know, It doesn't hurt us like cap wise as much as it did back in the day. We got to be aggressive in this situation. And next year's the year. We have to do it, man. We have to do it. We haven't done it yet. We've been, you know, that's just how I see it, man. Get the quarterback.
Yeah.
And see what happens from there.
I hear you, man. Before I pass it on to Severe, man, I hear you. I just think, man, out of all drafts, this is the one I don't want to be aggressive in. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I hear you.
the CJ Strouds, Bryce Youngs, yeah. You know what I mean? Like where it was from the previous, even last year's draft, I wanted the Raiders to be aggressive. But this draft, I'd rather have the Raiders to be in the right spot. You know what I mean? Like have the number 2 pick, number 3 pick, first pick overall, and just draft. If it's a quarterback, go ahead and draft your quarterback. I don't want to draft 3 first-round picks for a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward because I'm not 100% sold on him like the other quarterbacks. Severe, I mean, can you speak to that? Would you be aggressive in trading up to get a quarterback? Let's say if the Raiders win a few games and they're like number 8, number 9, or even inside the top 5. Inside the top 5. You know, a team like Jacksonville could have the number 1 pick and they could be looking to trade down. And they might have there might be some teams that are going to be willing to trade up. Would you do it?
It depends on how much we have to give up, how far we have to move up. Like, you know, you kind of know, you know me, Farrell, I was a big CJ Stroud guy. I was pounding the table. CJ Stroud is the guy. Get CJ Stroud. We didn't get CJ Stroud. Then last year, I was early on. Jaden Daniels is the guy. Get Jaden Daniels. You know, then it's not, you know, we kind of figured he was out of reach. All right, Michael Penix is the next guy. Get Michael Penix. We can get Penix. I'm much more confident in Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud, and Michael Penix than I am in any quarterback in this draft class.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
It's quite a gap, right? Quite a gap. So it depends on how, because we have to get, like, you know, if I'm going to move up for a guy, it's going to be Cam Ward because he's a high upside guy. I mean, you know, he's better arm, much more athletic. He has just arm is just dynamic, but you kind of worry, is he going to be like a Jameis Winston, right? We saw Jameis Winston he threw for 497, but also threw like a pick six, almost threw two pick sixes, right? It's an adventure every time you watch Jameis play. You're gonna see some high level throws, some throws only, you know, a handful of guys in the world can make. But you're also gonna see some of the worst decision making you've ever seen in your life. And, you know, like Cam Ward ain't even as good as Jameis Winston was in college. So and neither is Shedeur for that matter. So it's, you know, do you have faith in these guys being a franchise guy? If you're sold on them being franchise guys, if our scouting department comes back and they're like, you know what, this is the guy, whichever guy they identify, whether it be Cam or Shedeur, because it's essentially a 2-horse race. Whatever guy it is, if they're sold, hey, we have full faith. We believe that in this building, you know, in this environment, with this organization, they can be the franchise guy. If they're sold on that, then you got to pull the trigger. We've gone far too long without having our very own quarterback, you know, that kind of homegrown, that has, you know, everything you want in that franchise guy. You know, Derek Carr had the physical attributes that you would want, but he didn't have. He was missing the intangibles, especially like the mental toughness aspect of things, right? Like it just wasn't there. And it seems that Cam Ward and Shedeur, they both have that cool, calm, collected, even toughness as well, right? Like unflappable. Nothing shakes these guys. We've seen Cam Ward, you know, his defense let him down time and time again. And a lot of these times he's been able to come back, right? A few times he hasn't. We've seen the amount of hits that Shedeur is taking a beating every time he steps out there, you know, for ever since he got to Colorado. So we see his toughness. We see it to kind of get, you know, like his calm. We see how he's able to communicate with his guys in the huddle. So I think both of those guys have the intangible piece, but it's just like, will they be able to translate that to the next level? And if you're sold on that, then you have to make the move.
Man, you know what, bro? I'm really leaning towards best player available, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Tom Telesco special. He knows what he's doing. The first 3 runs, I'm gonna have my popcorn ready. I'm excited for this. This dude has a track record, and he knows what he does what it takes to get the right player, or at least a good quality player in the first round, the second round, and we just seen even in the third round who's possibly might be a future starter at right tackle, or at least at some capacity, probably a starter on that offensive line. If they move him to guard, who knows? Then maybe bring in another right tackle, whatever the case may be. But I'm kind of leaning towards best player available, man. I'm not gonna lie. If the quarterback is not there, let's say if Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders is on the board, and they evaluated that position, they feel like, oh, this is the guy that they want. I have no problem with that. Happens all the time. Teams reach for QBs because QB is just the highest value position in football. I get it. Yeah. But when it comes to trading like 3 first-round picks, and then like all of our draft, like we're not even built for that type of. How are we going to recover? You know, and some Raider fans will be like, well, Raiders don't know how to draft anyways, but that's because we're not. That's why we're not good, because we can't draft well. We can't just say, oh, look what we did in the past, and
we had a hell of a draft this year.
Exactly. I mean, and we can actually build off that. We could build off that. Let's do it again. Let's rinse and repeat.
My thing is, like, I like both. I'm on. It depends on where we are in the draft. Now we're at 3, 4, 5. You got to be aggressive to try to move up, because you're not going to give up much to move up to 1 or 2. You might have to give up next year's first. I'm okay with giving up next year's first some change. I'm okay with that. Now, if we're at 8, 7, 8, 9, yeah, BPA. All day. I'm with you on that here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be very clear with this one. We move up to get Shadur Sanders. Not Cam Ward. Shadur Sanders. Because he seems to be the perfect fit for what we got going on right now organizationally. You know, him and Tom Brady has a relationship. You know, he wants to be here. You know, there's a lot of things that is conducive to him being successful with us right away. Now we got to locate the OC, you know, but you got Brock Bowers. You know, you got some weapons already. You're not working with the empty cupboard at all. So I think that it would be very advantageous to bring in a Shadur Sanders, considering who we already have in the building right now. And that might also bring a Deion Sanders, you know, for in whatever capacity, whatever that may be, you know. And then you got the possibility of a prime factor, a TB12 factor when it comes to free agency. We got 100 whatever million dollars in cap space. Right. So that type of stuff is a spark. It's bigger than just the player itself. So that to me is what I think the Raiders should do in those situations. Move up to get Shadur Sanders, because it matters more than just the player itself.
Let me ask you this: since you brought up Shadur, are you a fan of Deion and Shadur package coming to Las Vegas?
I don't want Deion to be the head coach. I don't want him to be the head coach at all. But I would like to have him in the building. Whatever capacity that is. I'm not saying a DC or a cornerback coach, like nothing like that. I don't want him to coach. Maybe as an ambassador, you know, similar to what we had in Magic Johnson, you know, with the Lakers for a while, when he was in the building, not necessarily making the decisions, but being an ambassador and being a brand face for Prime and the Raiders. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff. Marketing is his thing, you know, and marketing comes with, you know, bringing in top-notch free agencies, you know, free agents. So that's what I would like to see. I don't want him by any means being our next head coach. I don't think that would be a good idea. I think the only good fit for him as a head coach would be with the Cowboys. And that wouldn't even work out. He should stay in college and do his thing at Colorado and see that thing through. But an ambassador for the Raiders in some sort of capacity, you know, kind of hanging out and making an appearance every once in a while, kind of, you know, building up and promoting his son in some sort of way, pushing the Deion Sanders merch and stuff, that silver and black Deons. I'm on it real quick, man. That type of stuff, man, like It matters. It matters. It attracts guys in this day and age. It attracts these youngsters, these young free agents, people that might want to come and look at what the Raiders are doing and be like, "Yeah, that's a good place to play." That to me matters in this day and age.
I agree. I don't want him as a head coach because you have to question what is his motive. Is this just for his son, which is cool. It's cool to be for your son, but for the Raiders' perspective, I've said like that means that if it doesn't work out with the son, then he's gone. You know what I mean? And I think that's not a situation long term. I think the Raiders should invest heavily in a head coach that literally is too attached to the QB. You know what I mean? If it doesn't work out or whatever. But you could say that, oh, well, every coach is attached to the QB that they, draft or, sign to a big deal. Like if it doesn't work out with that QB, then you can count the days of that head coach. That being said, man, I just feel like Deion is probably perfect for college football. It just feels like, because college football, college sports, it's all about the coach.
Exactly.
And if it's Deion, but Deion has said in interviews that right now I'm all for my son. It's all about my sons, and he kind of stayed true to it. He went from Jackson State went to Colorado, but I'm sure if I don't know how that Colorado situation is going to shake out, but if Florida State comes calling, you know what I mean? I'm sure he's going to be like, that's going to be the team. That's the college that I played for. You know what I mean? I'm going to be the reason to bring them back to prime time. You know what I mean? I could see that happening as well. But, it is what it is, man. I just wanted to throw that in there. I think we talked about it before, but now the closer we get to it's a real possibility that Shedeur could come here. But I'd rather Shedeur play, I agree, with a really good offensive-minded coach, probably more ready to play compared to Cam Ward. But I do like high upside players, though.
Yeah,
like high upside players.
I hear you.
And when I think of when I say best player available, and I hear Severe, I'm with you, bro. Like I want a QB, I want the best QB. But this draft, the more you just think about it, you look at it, you be like, man, maybe there's better value getting a QB in the second, or trading into the first and getting a QB, and then you take the best player available. We just talked about before the show, you know what I mean? We talked about Mason Graham. We talked about, you know what I mean, Travis Hunter being a possibility. Like there's so many different players that you can go best offensive line on the board. Like that can really. I'm not saying a QB wouldn't contribute to this team. Obviously, he would, but man, Tom Telesco special, man. I believe I'm a believer in it. Best player available, but
I feel what you're saying, but I think that this draft is so deep that you can take a chance on moving up for a QB, and even if it costs you a second rounder this year, right? Like two of our biggest needs are wide receiver, and we need a number one wide receiver, and we need a running back, right? This is a deep receiver class. This is a deep running back class, like super deep running back class. You can find a running back, probably a really good running back, probably like 4th, 5th round if you want to. So I think we're able to still to capitalize on those needs later on, and we got so much money, in free agency. We can go out and we can grab some guys in free agency as well. But I just think that quarterback position, that is the great equalizer in the league. You see what C.J. Stroud was able to do for the Texans. You see what Jaden Daniels was able to do for the Commanders. And a shout out to my guy Steve Oriana. He brought up something, and I've already made it clear. Cam Ward is my number one.
Did you say Steve?
In this class.
Did you say Steve?
Steve, my guy, Steve.
You thought I forgot about that? No, I'm just playing, man. You talking trash.
My guy, man. That's one of my day ones, man. But he sent in the super thanks. And I remember during the pre-draft process, Mike brought up his affinity for 3-star recruits, right? How he likes those guys that came up the tough way. And Steve pointed out that Cam Ward was a 0-star recruit. And 2 other guys that were 0-star recruits are Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen. And so, shout out to Steve for that. So I'm not saying Cam Ward will be those guys. When you think about those guys, both have crazy arm strength. That they both. Josh Allen especially was kind of a questionable decision maker coming out of Wyoming. So could it be does Cam Ward have that kind of upside? Possibly, but that's why I'm kind of leaning in that direction. But I will say this, we know Mark Davis has that 26-year-old girlfriend, and he does not need any enhancements because all he has to do is think about how much money he will make with Shador in the Raiders uniform, and that will do the trick for him. Do the trick for him. So that is going to be dollars racking up. Just that Sanders name. Just the high profile, all the media attention with Shador coming here, he was going to be printing money. So I'm sure that shouldn't play a factor. It shouldn't play a factor, but we already saw Mark Davis at the game. He was out there, it's like he was moving on Shador. When the old dudes at the club, you see them young girls, how they move in on them quick. That was Mark Davis at the game with Shador, man. So I can see him wanting to make that happen.
Yeah, man. Hey, I can see that, man. But Shador, the Sanders, they know how to build a brand, man. That's what they're doing. I think they got the whole family. They got the. I don't know who's running the social media or the film. I think one of the brothers is running that, and they're like filming every.
It's Deion Jr. I can see it now, bro. I can see the TikTok now with Mark Davis rocking the Deion sunglasses, rocking the Shador watch, doing the dance to Shador's. Hey. I can see it, bro. I can see it, man. That's
but at the end of the day, I hear you. I can see it too. But the thing that gets me is like, is that going to equal winning? I just want to win. I don't care. I don't care about the flashiness. I just want to win. But if it comes to winning, I'm going to be celebrating. Just like when the Raiders were winning late last season, even though it didn't amount to anything, we didn't go to the playoffs, we were winning games, they had cigars, I was celebrating it. But now, like...
Now they smoking Newports.
Exactly. Man, they out here smoking Parliament Lights.
Right. Man.
The long ass cigarettes.
Man. That's hilarious, bro. That is hilarious. But hey, you know what though, man? It's that time. It's that time, man. We gotta make one last extra point, man. And this week, man, we talked about him early, man, and we gotta talk about him again. And it's Brock Bowers. This dude's a monster. He recently won the Offensive Rookie of the Month. Dude's been killing it, man. I mean, to say the least. Now, let's talk about his chances of winning this Rookie of the Year award, man. I'm not gonna lie, like I want him to win it. I think we talked about before the show started. We talked about Josh Jacobs and how he didn't win it, and he won Offensive Rookie of the Month twice. Yep. And that year it went to Kyler. You know what I mean? And we all understand when it comes to these offensive awards, like they're just so quick to give it to quarterbacks. Like this is a quarterback award. You know what I mean? It just when it comes to the MVP, even Offensive Rookie of the Year, it's whoever the top QB is, it usually goes to the QB, right? But I'm gonna make a case for Brock, man, because if he continues to break records, which he's on pace to break records, I think that's the recipe for a non-quarterback to win.
Yep.
I mean, Mike, if you want to speak to it, I mean, do you think Brock has a chance to win it, or do you think it's going to QB when it's all said and done?
The reason why it's going to go to a QB is because, well, the two guys that are in the race for Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels, they're playoff teams right now. Let's just be honest about it. And they're probably going to get the nod because they're in the playoff race. But I will say for Brock Bowers, this is a historic run that we're seeing out of Brock Bowers as a tight end. He's going to break the tight end receptions record for a rookie. If not, he's already done it. He's going to break the rookie receptions record that was set by Puka Nacua, 105 catches. Brock Bowers is on pace for 119 catches, 1,252 yards, and 6 touchdowns. That would shatter any kind of rookie record. That's going to shatter a tight end record. It's going to shatter a Raiders all-time receptions record in a season. And that type of stuff is special. You know, to me, in this situation, it doesn't matter what the quarterbacks are doing because quarterbacks are going to get the nod year after year after year after year. But how often do we see somebody come in and do what Brock Bowers is doing in a season? This is a once in a lifetime, once a generation type of deal. We've not seen numbers from a tight end ever like this, especially as a rookie. And the fact that we're talking about Brock Bowers being in the offensive rookie of the year race at tight end says a lot. You know, that says that he's having one of those generational special years. And because of that, I think they need to give it to him because I don't think we'll ever see this we'll never see this again from a rookie tight end. I don't think we'll ever see this again from a rookie tight end. I'm gonna be honest with you. According to the odds, he's a plus 1,200. I think it's the third best odds. So if you want to put a ticket in for that, it pays pretty well if you wanted to do that. But Brock Bowers for offensive rookie of the year, man, I'm for it. Let's change a little bit of the monotony. We've seen quarterbacks do this year after year. You know, let's give it to a tight end. He deserves it. This is a generational thing, man. Brock Bowers, man, that's the guy.
And earlier, Severe, we talked about how Jamar Chase had the single game record for receiving yards for a rookie. He had 266 yards. You said, did he win Rookie of the Year that year?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe
he won Rookie of the Year. Hey, I think Brock Bowers has a chance to break it. You know what I mean? I really do. I'm not saying. Hey, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I really believe that's how much. Bro, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not guaranteeing that it's gonna happen. I'm not saying that. I'm just a believer in the talent. He's way better than I thought he was. He's getting open with ease. He's making it look easy with subpar QB. We complain about the offensive line. We complain about the OC. We complain about the quarterback. But this dude is still getting off.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest.
He's gonna get up numbers. He ain't getting no 266. I don't care how much I believe in the talent. He's not getting 266. I think he can get 200. I think he can get 200. I'm pulling for him to get 200. I hope he can do it in this game. He has Levante David and Antoine Whitfield Jr. Those are two pretty good defenders, but I'm hoping he can do it this game. But offensive rookie of the year, man, I'd love for him to do it. You know, I think there's only been one Raider in history to do it, and that was Marcus Allen. That was in 1982. That was 42 years ago. There were people watching this show with parents that aren't 42 years old, right? So it is so you know it's been a very, very long time since we had an offensive rookie of the year. And I'd love for it to be Brock. I think that he'd be deserving in a lot of years, he'd be deserving of it. But as Mike alluded to, when you have quarterbacks that are playing at the level that Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels are playing, and their teams performing at the levels that their teams are performing, especially Jaden Daniels, was a team that went from being number 2 in the draft to, they're second in the NFC East, and they're a playoff contending team. They just hung 40 something on the number 1 defense in the league. And it's not like he's playing with no super powered team out there. So I just think that, it is a quarterback award. You just look at, you want to know how important quarterbacks are, how much more worthy or how much more valuable the NFL considers quarterbacks. The highest paid quarterback in the league makes $60 million a year. That is Dak Prescott. The highest paid tight end of all time made $17 million a year. And that's Darren Waller. So that kind of tells you what the league feels about quarterbacks and what the league feels about tight ends. and that's definitely going to play a factor when they look at value of position. When they look at Jaden, Bo Nix, and they look at Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers, like I said, he's performing the best of any rookie, but his performances as a rookie, as a tight end, is not as valuable as what a quarterback is doing. Even though he's outperforming them, player for player, he's better than they are.
No, I hear you. I agree. It's a quarterback's award, but I'm just saying, I think there is a chance. And the way he has to do it, the road that he has to, it's just for every non-quarterback, they have to do something historic. And that's what he's doing. And if he just keeps building, and if you're telling me that he was getting these numbers, right? And you're telling me, and it doesn't help that the Raiders suck. Like they're 2-2. That's the big killer for him. For a guy that's a non-quarterback to win the award, he needs everything on his side, and his team sucks. The Commanders are competitive. The Broncos are competitive, and they have rookie QBs who can possibly win the award, and that's what he's going up against. So we know the favoritism that is for the QB position. But I'm just saying, there is a way for him to win, and it got to be historic, and he's already doing that. And he's doing this. The majority of his stats came with Lou Getsy at OC. Yeah. And we all can agree the last couple of games, like the offense looks better. You know what I mean? Yeah. The game, you could see like throughout the game, like, ooh, that was a nice little play call how they could set up. They set up that one-on-one with Brock, or we're running the football better. That's only going to help Brock. It's going to make his job a little easier. It's going to make that play action a little bit deadlier. And then Aiden O'Connell, who you give him that, he plays better. Yeah. And we all know.
You know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that if he's going to win this, he's going to have a 200-yard game.
For sure.
He's going to have at least one 200-yard game.
When was last time, though? When was last time a tight end did that?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Has it ever happened? Like, I can't.
Oh, y'all forgot about Darren Waller already against the Jets?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? If Darren Waller can do a shout out to him, talented tight end. We all know the talent. You know what I mean? But Brock Bowers I could see him do that easy.
Yeah.
Easy. I could just see it. I could see the way he's doing it right now. I can see him doing it. Now, will he get 266 yards? I don't know about that. I'm not betting on that. But if he gets it, I wouldn't be surprised. If he does it, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, like I didn't see this coming. No, like he's been doing it. You'd be surprised. I mean,
if any receiver gets 266 yards, bro, I don't give a damn. If Justin Jefferson puts up 266 yards, I'd be surprised. Like what? Yeah. He did what?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
When I looked at the numbers, my jaw dropped because I was looking at the numbers. I'm like, okay, Brock, he can break the rookie receiving record. Let me see what it is. And I saw 266. I'm like, shit ain't happening. The same thing. It reminds me, and I thought the same thing about Josh Jacobs. When Josh Jacobs was getting off his rookie year, he's having some big games. So I'm like, damn, okay, let me check out what's the rookie record for rushing in the game. Then I saw it was Adrian Peterson, who has the NFL record for rushing in the game when he damn near put up 300. I'm like, oh yeah, it ain't happening. It's not happening.
No, that's different. Josh Jacobs was good, but I never was like, oh my God, this dude's an all-timer. I never said that. Yeah. I was like, man, this is a good running back. Man, this is the first time. I was like, first time we had a good running back. He was like the first time we've had a good running back in a while. That's what I felt like with Josh Jacobs. And he had a really good rookie season, probably his second best season ever.
Hey, guess what, bro? If Brock Bowers goes over 266 at any point in his career, you got an autographed Brock Bowers jersey, authentic from me, bro.
Man,
because you believe it. You believe in him, bro. Like, hey, I got to make that happen.
But that's the rookie record. That's the rookie record.
Hey, man, you know what? Look. You know what I believe in? I believe in greatness. When someone is, when I see greatness, I'm like, you know what? The sky's the limit. Anything can happen. I know you say you're surprised when you see 266 yards. Of course, you're like, damn, you're going to have that reaction to it. But are you really surprised that Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Calvin Johnson, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, all these talent? Are you really surprised when they do historic games? No, you're really not. because that's what great players do. That's what great players do. Great things, man. It's just it is what it is. They're consistent, but every now and then they do something where you be like, that's never been done before. It's crazy. But are you really surprised? No, because he's a great player. That's what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Megatron is my favorite, probably my favorite receiver of all time. I think he's the most physically gifted receiver to ever play the game. He has the record for receiving yards in the game, and I was surprised when he did it. So I'm gonna be surprised no matter who breaks that kind of record. I'm gonna be surprised.
Right. No, I get you. You know what I mean? It's all about perspective. I'm looking at it for perspective. Like, great players do great things, man. You watch multiple sports. You see great players in every sport: basketball, football, baseball, whatever. It never like changes. Like for example, like the Dodgers just won a World Series, and they have the best player in MLB right now. Like pitcher, guy's just a monster. You know what I mean? But when you're at that level of greatness and he does a great thing, are you really surprised that he did a great thing? I'm not surprised. That's all I'm saying. You could be amazed by it. You could be like, man, that's crazy. Like, that we're probably never going to see that ever again. But are you really surprised that a great player made a great play? Like, it's kind of like, no, I'm not.
It's not a mind blowing thing, but it's more of like, wow, he did that. Or they like, that was cool.
If Joe Schmo does it, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I never seen that coming. You know what I mean?
I feel what
you know what I mean.
If like Hunter Renfrow getting 100 catches in a season.
Man,
yeah. I was surprised.
Damn, you went for the throat. You went for the throat right there.
All right, Mike Lombardi.
I'm just saying,
Mike
bro.
You kicked him while he was on the ground. You just stepped on him like this. Where's Hunter Renfrow? Step on you,
He sniped Hunter Renfrow from a mile away.
He kind of stray on that one, man.
Hunter Renfrow didn't. Hunter Renfrow didn't come through for a parlay or something with Mike. You've been waiting for this.
Yeah, man. That's funny, man. But on that note, man, hey, man, look, we're just to sum it up, man. We expect big things from Brock moving forward. I mean, will he win the Rookie of the Year award? Who knows? What we all agree on, like, he has to do something real crazy. He has to continue to do what he does, and probably he has to top it in order to have a chance to win that award, just because we know that it's a quarterback's award. You know, it is what it is. But that being said, this is my favorite part of the show, man. This is NFL game picks. You know, hey, look. Hey, man. Hey, we seen that. We seen that last week. You know, shout out to Turf. He came through in a guest host, and he picked some games as well. But we seen that you're aggressive. I get the logic though. I get it. Yeah. But hey, you know, you didn't have a bad weekend. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't a bad weekend. I think our worst weekends were in the beginning. That first week for me, that first week, I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering. But here,
I haven't had a bad week yet.
You've been missing. Missed. He had to throw that in there. I haven't had a bad weekend. But this is the game picks results from last weekend. You know, Mike finished with 9-6. Shout out to Turf. He finished 9-6 as well. So shout out to Turf, man. And 13-2. You know, I had to make some moves. It's just the game though. Severe 12-3. He did his thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mr. Consistent.
The Bengals game was what did it.
Was the Bengals? Yeah. I think everybody picked
Pittsburgh. Yeah, everybody else picked the Bengals.
Yeah. So the season total, if y'all can see it on the screen, Mike 73-40. It's close. It's not like out 73-48. I'm 80-41, and then Severe got that 4-game lead. You know what I mean? He got that 4-game lead on me.
I'm in tank mode right now. Yeah.
I know.
But the thing is, though,
Mike looking at quarterbacks.
But you're winning way more than you're losing, so it's like it's just real competitive. Exactly. It's real competitive. But but Mike, if I win this, man, I want A-frame Culture Kings. You know what I mean? I'll let you know what it is. I get the details, but I can't talk. I really want to talk though, but I can't because Severe. He got it. He got it, man.
4 games is a lot, bro. You're gonna have to get aggressive at some point.
Shout out to Steve. That's what he said. He, you know how like Severe at the end of the show will say 7 3/8. He got Steve to say 7 3/8. I'm like, come on, man. Y'all just had to take shots like that. Come on, man. Come on, man. But let's actually move it along, man. Let's get to this week's game picks. Go ahead and put this on the screen. Let's go right here. What we got. All right, we got the first game, Jets and Dolphins. Mike, I know, man. I gave up on him. I don't know. I think last week you picked him. You picked him against. I think that was one of. You were super aggressive last week, bro.
Yeah. I was aggressive.
Are you aggressive this week?
I'm not going with the Jets this week, man. I think it's a wrap for them. Dolphins still got something to play for, man. I got the Dolphins winning at home.
I got the Dolphins too. Yeah, the Jets suck, man. It is what it is, man. You got Aaron Rodgers coming out with documentaries talking about being I have one life, a football player, and then I have I don't know, some weird. Man
is cooked.
Yeah, man.
He's cooked, bro. He's done. I think he's done. He should just retire, bro. Yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
Bro, I think it's a wrap, man. It's a future flag on the play, but we just recently saw Devontae Adams' comments.
Oh,
he's still reiterating. You guys don't know what was going on with me. Still making he's in full-blown excuse mode right now.
Oh,
my God. Ass up.
Yeah, man. I am. Yeah, man. Exactly. I am. Yeah, I'm waiting to snipe. I'm waiting to snipe Devontae like Mike Deer Hunter. I was waiting for that day. I got. I got the Dolphins. Dolphins, man.
All right. Okay. Ain't mad at you. We got Falcons, Vikings. Ooh.
Yeah,
Mike, who you got? Yeah, this one could.
I've been picking against the Vikings last couple of weeks, and I'm just waiting for them to drop a game. I'm like, I just don't believe it. I mean, I don't know. I got the Falcons winning this one. I got the Falcons because they need it. They're in the division race. The Vikings, you can argue and say they need it too. I mean, they're in a race, a 3-horse race in their division as well. So, but I think the Falcons needed a little bit more just to win that division. They need to get in the playoffs. The only way to get in the playoffs is they win the division. So I got the Falcons. Kirk Cousins kind of reverses it, and they steal one in Minnesota.
Oh, that's actually a good point. This is coming home for Cousins. So this is he for sure wants to have a big game. This one's tough. I know Vikings is 10-2. Got a good defense. It's gonna be at home. You know what? I'm gonna go Cousins, man. Cousins. You know what I mean? Like it. I'm with you.
It looks like
Falcons.
Somehow I get the 10-2 team, and I'm picking the upset. I'm going with the Vikings, man. I think Aaron Jones has been running the ball really well, even though Sam Darnold has fallen off a damn cliff. I'm thinking Kevin O'Connell can do enough to kind of motivate him to win this game. Justin Jefferson, he hasn't been playing that great. Jordan Addison, he had a big game a few weeks ago, and he's kind of falling back down to earth. So I'm looking for a little bit of resurgence from both of those guys. So I'm going with the Vikings.
Gotcha. Yeah, Vikings. All right, so I guess you're getting the upset with this game. But we got the Saints and Giants. Mike, who you got?
Let's go Giants. Let's get that win. No, I got the Saints.
Man.
You had me for a second, man.
Man, all right. For real.
Man, this is. Yeah, the Giants right now, it's full tank mode. Full tank mode. They're going after that number 1 pick. I got the Saints. I'm going Saints.
Yeah, I'm going Saints as well. I'm tempted to pick the Giants because Drew Lock, he could do something crazy and go out there, and Malik Neighbors and go off. They don't have Lattimore anymore. Tyrone Tracy's been playing really well, but I'm gonna go Saints, man. I'm gonna go Saints.
Okay. All right, and we got the Panthers and Eagles. Before I would have laughed at this game, but I'm you know. You still can laugh, but
I'm chuckling. You're chuckling right now.
You're chuckling a little. But Bryce Young's been playing well, man. Bryce Young's been playing well as of late. But this is a game in Philadelphia, Eagles versus Panthers. Who you got, Mike?
I got the Eagles, but the Panthers are playing hard too. They're playing hard for for their team, and they seem to be trying to rally around each other. But it's going to be too much. The Eagles are on an 8-game winning streak. They look like one of the best teams in the NFC, and I think the Eagles are they're at home. Eagles for winning this one. It might be close though.
Yeah, I got the Eagles too, man. Just better team overall, but I could see this being competitive, possibly. You know what I mean? Bryce is playing well as of late, but also I can see it being a blowout too. Eagles over Panthers for me. Who you got, Severe?
Yeah, Eagles. I mean, Bryce Young. I'm happy to see Bryce Young playing well. If for nothing else, that means the Panthers may win some games, and also means that they likely won't be, in the market for a quarterback. So it looks like they won't be trading up for one or trying to draft one if we somehow win a few games ourselves. But the Eagles are too good defensively, too good offensively.
All right. We got an AFC North showdown, Browns and Steelers. Last time they played, I think the Browns stole one on Thursday Night Football. Mike, who you got?
I got that $5 Whopper deal right there that you got your arrow on right there. Shout out to Burger King. Nah.
I gotta get rid of this shit. How did he get
hey. I got the Steelers.
This is free promo. I can't give him free promo, man.
Right. Yeah. Come on, man. You gotta pay if you want that. But I got the Steelers, man. They lost in an upset to the Browns last time. They're home. Steelers are they rolling now. Got the Steelers, bro.
You got the Steelers. You funny for that one, man. I got the Steelers too, man. The Steelers, man. I'm a Raider fan, but the Steelers are one of my teams. I like the Steelers, man. I like how they're built. I think it's a perfect Mike Tomlin team. They got the the physical running game, defense, and Russell Wilson is a guy that we all talked about how the Raiders should have went after and added to his QB room on the cheap, on a vet minimum. Because guess who was paying for his contract? A division rival. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
But
but he's not a Raider.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's Minshew, career backup. We went after that, but it is what it is. But I got the Steelers. Who you got, Severe?
Yeah, I got the Steelers as well. Revenge game for them after dropping that game. I think that was the only game the Russell Wilson has lost. I think I said on 50-50 show he hasn't lost any game. Yeah, that's the one game he has lost since being a Steelers starting quarterback. Was that game against the Browns? In the snow. But I think they avenged that game here, come out with the W.
Okay. I ain't mad at you. Disregard the Whopper deal, y'all. But we got Raiders and Bucks.
Flame broil goodness.
Man, game of the week, man.
You talking about the game or what? Man.
Mike, who you got? Who you got, man? Who you got?
All right, I can see a scenario where the Raiders win this game. There's two scenarios I see. I see them winning the game in a narrow margin or getting completely blown out in an East Coast trip game. Now, did the Raiders just completely blow their load pause on the Chiefs and that was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Right. But we will say that the Bucks do have a lot of injuries right now. We saw that they might be without a running back. Mike Evans is not 100%. And even Baker Mayfield is down right now. Well, not down, but he's injured. The Raiders play like they did last week. They can win this game. And you know what? You guys are going to hate me for this one. I think the Raiders pull this one off, man. Raiders with the upset in Tampa.
No, we're not going to hate you for picking the Raiders. We just going to laugh at you. No, I'm just playing. I'm sorry, man. I tried to pick a Raiders upset like a couple weeks ago. I tried to pick them a couple weeks ago, man. But at this point, man, it's an East Coast game. Hopefully I get to see a whole lot of young players play and show us what, who should stay and who should go for the future. But I can't do it, man. The Raiders right now, hey, play hard. But, what do you like to say, Severe? SS, #SS, strategic substitutions? Yeah,
damn
man.
right.
I got the Bucks, man. I got the Bucks. Who you got, Severe?
Yeah, I got the Bucks, man. Baker is a gamer. I think the Bucks. I think they got some. They got some film on Scott Turner and North Turner, what they were doing with Aiden, unlike the Chiefs. Rashad White is Rashad. I mean, Bucky Irvin might not play, but Rashad White, he was playing some good ball early in the year. I think Mike Evans will play. I think they've been kind of managing him all year. They were trying to get him to 1,000 yards. I think he has that streak of 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah.
So they've been kind of doing some maintenance with him, not having him practice too much. Even though he's banged up, to get him to Sunday so he can play and he can keep that streak going. So I just think that And people like their OC for the Bucks. People love him, man. He's going to probably be a name in head coaching circles this year. Liam Cohen. So I got to go with the Bucks.
Yeah, shout out to Mo, man. He was actually one of the first people that kind of put us on to that possibility, because everybody's been talking about Ben Johnson this, Ben Johnson that, but Liam Cohen is doing his thing with the Bucks back-to-back years too. If that were to happen,
the Bucks OCs,
yeah, and
they're doing it with a shorthanded squad too.
And was Liam was he the QB coach? Did he get that?
No, I think he came from somewhere else.
Oh, he came from somewhere else. Yeah,
he came from somewhere else.
So you know what? I want to give credit to Liam Cohen, but then Baker Mayfield is just he's took control of his career and just really gotten better, man. And I think he's played well with the Bucks. And that's another thing too, man. I think Baker is just they just have a better quarterback in this game.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why I went with the Bucks. But you know what? If the Raiders do win, hey, shout out to them, man. I'm not gonna be mad at it for sure. But it's hard. It's hard to pick the Raiders these days, man. Yeah. But we got the Jaguars and Titans, the AFC South showdown game of the week in Nashville, Tennessee.
It's about to be a girl fight.
Man.
Oh man.
Man,
Jaguars, they might mess around and tie this game, man. This might be a tie. Oh man. No Trevor Lawrence.
No.
The Titans got the advantage in this one. They're at home too. I got the Titans winning this one. I want the Jaguars to win though, for the sake of draft placement.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you, man. The Titans have surprisingly played well randomly, and I think they have a solid defense.
Yeah.
The quarterback, I don't know, but they're playing against a bad Jaguars team that's pretty wounded. So I got the Titans, man. Who you got, Severe?
Same here, man. Titans, they actually beat the Texans 2 weeks ago. The Titans have the number one defense in the league right now, right? Jeffrey Simmons is wrecking shop. Arden Keys is actually playing pretty well out there, man. Obviously L'Jarius Sneed. So I am rolling with the Titans. Jags they are a trash can fire right now.
Man.
All right, man. We got an NFC West showdown. It's a lot of division rivals going at it this week, man. We got Seahawks, Cardinals in Arizona. Who you got, Mike?
Oh man, Those them NFC West matchups are tough to pick, man, especially these days. I'm gonna go Seahawks. I'm gonna go Seahawks in this one. Yeah, for no other reason is just all the matchups are even. Whenever any of these NFC West teams play each other, it's just all even these days. You know what? I'm gonna retract that. I'm gonna go Cardinals just for the sake of everybody going even. And you know they always say go with your first gut, but that hasn't helped me at all this season. So I'm going with the Cardinals, man.
Yeah, I'm going with Cardinals at home. Kyle Murray's been playing good football.
Yeah,
or he's had a solid season. Yeah, man. If it was on the road, then maybe Seahawks possibly, because you know the Seahawks they're pretty tough at home. They're just historically speaking, but yeah, I'm going Cardinals. Who you got, Severe?
I'm gonna go Cardinals as well. You know, like you said, Kyler Murray's been playing well. They've been running the ball pretty well. McBride has been playing pretty good at tight end. Marvin Harrison, he's been kind of up and down at wide out. I think he had his first touchdown last week. I think so. Hopefully he can build on that. But I'm going with the Cardinals.
All right. We got Bills and Rams in Inglewood, SoFi Stadium. Mike, who you got?
I'm going with the Bills. Going with the Bills. They seem to be the best team in football right now. And they're going to continue rolling with this one. Bills win. It might be close. Rams play, you know, they play tough. But the Bills look like they're on a mission right now. I got the Bills. Hey, Josh Allen might be MVP.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's up there. I mean, he's doing his thing. I got the Bills too. You know what? Real quick, I don't think we've talked about it. Who do you guys, if you guys had to make Super Bowl picks right now, as of right now, I know it could change near the playoffs, near the end of the season, because usually it's the hottest teams that go there, or that make it all the way and win it. Who you guys coming out AFC, and who do you guys have coming out out the NFC as of right now?
Man, you can't deny the Lions what they're doing in the NFC, and then on the AFC, shoot, the Bills. It's the only team that can take down the Chiefs right now. The Chiefs look like ass this year. I don't care what their record says; they don't look good. So, Bills and Lions, and I would love that Super Bowl. I really hope that happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Severe. Who you got for the Bills and Rams game?
I got the Bills.
Got the Bills. Oh yeah, and who you got coming out AFC and NFC Super Bowl?
I'm gonna say the same. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Lions, but I'm gonna say Lions, Ravens. I think this is the year the Ravens break through. I think Derrick Henry being there, I think you know he adds a dynamic that they really haven't had before.
Yeah.
So
in the
you know,
playoffs.
and Zay Flowers have been going crazy. Zay Flowers has been going crazy. So you know, like this is the first time he's really had like a true legit number one wide receiver. I mean, I can see the Eagles coming out of the NFC as well. I can see that happening. But they seem to get dinged up a lot. So I'm gonna roll with the Lions and the Ravens.
Yeah, I was thinking Lions and Ravens too. I guess to throw another curveball in there, outside of the Bills, the Ravens. What's another AFC West team? I don't want to say the Chiefs, because I hate the Chiefs. I don't want to see them anywhere near the Super Bowl.
Really those three right now, man.
The Steelers.
The Steelers, bro. I'm telling you. That's
the Steelers.
But the only thing is just the quarterback play. That's kind of like if they go against like the Ravens, but their defense,
they got good.
But I know. But what I'm saying is, they got what it takes to win playoff games. They got good defense. They can run the football, and that's why I like the Ravens. Is because you add a dynamic of running the football with Derrick Henry, and then obviously the Ravens always have a solid defense, and then Lamar is going to do what Lamar does. Yeah, that's the thing, and then the same thing with the Lions. All the teams that we've talked about have somewhat of a run game. I mean, even the Bills with James Cook, I think they're pretty solid at that, and then obviously Josh Allen's gonna do his share of running the football too as well. But yeah, man, those are the teams that stick out to me a little bit, like that can make a playoff run. But going back to the game picks, We got Bears and 49ers. Mike, who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Niners here. I'm gonna go with the Niners here. One of my guys, Isaac Guerrero, he's gonna be the starter. I think he has a big game.
Yeah.
They want to establish the run. Niners are at home. Yeah, I'm going with the Niners.
Yeah, I remember Guerrero had a crazy combine. He had, but 49ers and Bears in Santa Clara. 49ers has just not been the same team this season. And I think what's name's down for the count, at least for, I don't know if he's out for the whole season. Old boy McCaffrey. He's not playing. He's out for the season.
Definitely, yeah.
Out for the year, and then Brandon Ayuk out for the.
It's tough.
This is ugly, but. And the Bears, you just don't know what to expect from week in, week out. They just fired the head coach. So I'll go with the 49ers at home. I don't like the 49ers, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Speaking of teams we don't like.
Right.
I know, right? Man.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna go Bears. I think Trent Williams is out for this game. Bears have a pretty good defense. The 49ers just banged up. I think Purdy is coming back, but I don't know. I think I don't know if the Bears get the interim boost. That's I'm kind of counting on them getting the interim boost for this one. This could be one that goes against me, but it's got a feeling about the Bears.
Who's the interim coach?
Hell if I know.
Funny. No. You could have said Josh Malarkey or something like that. I'd have like, oh, okay.
Exactly right.
He was the former OC over at the local college right there down the
street. Man, but we got an AFC West showdown, man. It's Chargers Chiefs, Arrowhead Stadium. Jim Harbaugh, Andy Reid. Special. I know. Who you got, Mike?
I don't know if you guys ever saw Breaking Bad, and Jesse Pinkman. He's like, we can't keep letting them get away with this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the Chiefs. They somehow week after week they keep getting away with it.
Right.
And it's pissing me off, man. Yeah. But they're going to get away with it again. They're going to win. Chiefs win at home. Close game, but they're going to win. I got Chiefs.
This possibly might be upset, depending on what Severe says, but I'm gonna go Chargers, man. I don't think the Chiefs are that good, man.
I don't either.
They're good. They're good. They're better than the Raiders. They're gonna make the playoffs. But they're not an 11-1 team, man. They're not the Lions. There's certain teams in the NFL where you just get like, man, this is a great team here, and I just don't feel like that with the Chiefs. But that might be a little biased, me being a Raider fan.
They got great support, man. That's
I know they got Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. I'm not doubting them.
And the black and whites.
Right. I think Jim Harbaugh. If he is who he says he is, he goes out there to Arrowhead Stadium, coaches him a W in Arrowhead. So I got the Chargers, man. I've been down the Chargers, but the Chargers got one of the better defenses in the NFL.
They do.
And hey, I think Jim Harbaugh has I don't know what he does, but he gives quarterbacks confidence. He gives them a whole lot of confidence, and this is a game where I see the Chargers getting it. They beating the Chiefs, man. Who you got, Severe?
I am going to go with the Chiefs, man. I think Isaiah Pacheco is his first game back last week, so I think he kind of struggled against us a little bit. He wasn't really fully back to form yet. I think with the week under his belt, he'll play better. D Hop has been, that connection between him and Mahomes is only growing stronger. And then, unfortunate for the Chargers and for the player as well, J.K. Dobbins is out. I think he's down for the year again.
Damn.
No take backs.
Damn.
No take backs, Arrow. Try to change your pick now. You already picked. It's done.
Hurts.
It's a wrap. It's done.
That hurts.
J.K. Dobbins. Yeah,
ink is dry on the paper, bro. It's done.
So, you know.
Meanwhile, as I was talking, Severe was like, you know,
nah, I saw it because I was looking at his numbers and looking at his contract and seeing like, hey, you know what?
You need to pick first next time, bro.
Exactly. Is he a guy we want to look at next year? And I was like, oh, check J.K. Dobbins' contract. What is he getting paid this year? There's like, oh, the Chargers putting J.K. Dobbins on IR. I was like, oh, really?
Man.
Well, don't matter.
So I was like, man, we might be able to get him for cheap. Chargers might not bring him back. You know, that's kind of been his MO, getting hurt. So, but yeah, I got the Chiefs. Even if J.K. Dobbins was healthy, I still roll with the Chiefs, man. Like Bill Parcells said it, and it rings true. You are what your record says you are. So no matter how bad they've been, you know, all that matters at the end of the day is at the end of the game, if you find a way to have one more point than your opponent, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing that they picked the former Raider running back. I think the dude out of UCLA that you like, Severe.
Britton Brown?
Britton Brown.
Or was it the other guy? They picked up Britton Brown?
No, I'm just playing with you.
I'm about to say this.
Like, wait a minute.
I was like, what? Why? I know that they had the other UCLA running back. He was their starter before. I forget his name.
Yeah,
the fullback, right?
No, he was a running back. He was black. I forget his name. Well,
who's starting this game? I want to see who's starting this game.
It's gonna probably be Gus Edwards.
Oh, that's not too bad, but he's not J.K. Dobbins though. J.K. Dobbins is.
You're not J.K. Dobbins. Yeah, J.K. Dobbins.
They got some other guy. He more dynamic.
Other guy named Vidal or something like that. Last name is Vidal.
Oh, Imani Vidal or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's a rookie.
Yeah. I saw him at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
I can't remember when he got drafted, but yeah.
But we got the final game here, Monday Night Football, Bengals, Cowboys. Mike, who you got?
Man. Both these teams, man. I don't know what is going on.
Right.
Dang. Cowboys don't win at home, man. They're pretty ass at home.
At all.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals.
Yeah. Yeah, Bengals haven't been the same team, but Cowboys, they're literally Dak is out for the season. They're down to their backup quarterback. Joe Burrow's playing this game. Come on, man. Put some respect on your team, man. Come on, you gotta get a W against the Cowboys.
Joe Burrow possibly might go for 350 in this game.
Man.
But the thing is though, he's been he's not every game, but like he's had great games, balling. Kind of reminds me of the last year that Deshaun Watson was good.
Yeah.
That probably not to that extent, but the last year that Deshaun Watson was good, he was balling like to the point where I was like, man, this dude's top 5 in the NFL. Put up like 35 touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions. I'm like, man, this dude is killing. And then we all know the allegations. Fast forward, misses like 2-3 years out of football, and then boom, he's trash. You know what I mean? He hasn't been the same player ever since. But I'm just saying, it's just like this team, Bengals, I don't know what's going on, maybe. And that's probably what's going to get Zach Taylor fired. And like I said earlier before the show, hey, that'd be, and I think someone in the chat said this early in the week, Ben Johnson. This would be a perfect Ben Johnson. I can see this easy going to the Bengals if Zach Taylor gets fired. Because if they continue to lose, like, how do you make sense to bring him back? Like, it doesn't make any. It wouldn't make sense.
That's the best opening in football. Best job opening in football if they let go of Zach Taylor.
Yeah.
Facts. Because you have literally a top 5 QB.
Yep.
Top 5 QB. You know what I mean? It's hard to have a quarterback, period, like to have a good QB, period. And we just got done. We talked about how, like, one of the biggest reasons why Jim Harbaugh went to the Chargers because they had a quarterback in place. And you know, like Joe Burrow, like that's gonna be crazy. That being said, I'm picking the Bengals. They failed me a couple of times this season. especially against the Ravens. I don't know if you remember that game. It was crazy. They were up like 21-3, 7. I'm like, oh man, I got this one in the bag. Come back, they lose in overtime against the Lamar Jackson show. He takes over the game. But yeah, I got the Bengals. Severe, who you got?
Got the Bengals as well, man. Now I can see Ben Johnson being willing to take a job with either one of these teams. You know, whether you know you want to coach, Dak. You know, say what you will about him. I think he led the league in passing, if not last year, the year before. You know, you got CeeDee Lamb. You'll be probably in prime position to draft a running back. But Rico Dowdle he's actually looked pretty good in some of his spot duty. So, but yeah, I got the Bengals, man. I got the Bengals. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. That connection is crazy. T. Higgins is healthy. I'm rolling with the Bengals.
All right, man. There you go, man. Hey, that wraps up NFL game picks this week. Be back here next week around the Shield where we break down the wins and losses. You know what I mean? And we're gonna have a whole lot to talk about, man. But hey, look, the Raiders play the Bucs this week. I mean, I would say I hope for a W, but I would hope for a W when it would possibly make them lose out on a top draft pick. But yeah, hey, you know what? That's the life of a Raider fan, man. We gotta play chess out here because we are tired of losing. We're tired of losing, man. But Mike, man, let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff, man.
Yeah, man. Big Mike Raider, IG, X, YouTube. Do a search. It's the first thing that pops up, man. I'll be here next week with some Around the Shield action. Hopefully a Victory Wednesday or a Victory Monday, and then we'll cover the game on Wednesday. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, we got Elite back in the building next week. So we're here on Around the Shield next week. We'll see. We're trying to make that happen. So
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, and also shout out to the Pasadena Bulldogs, CIF champions in football, going to state against Monte Vista High School in San Diego, state semifinals on Saturday. I'm excited for my Bulldogs, man. Hopefully they pull off a state semifinals win. They play in the state finals. Their first CIF championship game in championship win in almost 100 years, since 1933. So
wow.
Very proud Pasadenan and proud Bulldog, man. So I had to give him my shout out, man. Anybody who's a Bulldog out there, man, celebrate. That was a big one for us, man. But that's all I got.
Hey, that's what's up, man. And Severe, man, let the people know where they can find you, what to look forward to, all that good stuff.
You guys know what it is. The Severe Raider, YouTube, IG, X, TikTok, Snapchat, all those good places. You know, every Tuesday afternoon with 805 and Pete, Chris from Protect the Shield, doing a film breakdown of the games. And Tuesday night, you know, the 50-50 show. Me and my guy Pharaoh, then Around the Shield every Friday night. You know, another announcement, man. My son's team, they actually play in the Super Bowl this Sunday in Long Beach, in the Snoop League, man. So, you know, that's against the Raiders, ironically against the Raiders. So I'm hoping for 2 Raiders losses this Sunday.
There you go.
Man, but yeah, man. You know, just look. Hey, at this point, man, season is in cruise control. I'm about to start doing some homework on these prospects, man. Heavy.
Coming up soon. Yeah, man.
There you go. Yeah, man. Hey, man. Like the gentleman said, man, we're gonna be back here next week Around the Shield every Friday evenings, and 50-50 show every Tuesday evenings. And make sure to follow us on social media. You guys see the names on the screen, Fair NFL, the Severe, Big Mike Raider, but also Around the Shield on X and on IG, where you could get latest Raider news, memes, podcast clips, all that good stuff. Make sure to give us a follow there. And also, man, check out the 50-50 shop, man. If y'all want to get some Raiders gear, great way to support us and also get some good gear. I mean, it's cold, man. I know y'all want to wear hoodies like this. Definitely check us out on the 50-50 shop. The link will be in the chat as well as you guys watching the replay. Just go to the description The link will be there as well. But yeah, man, hey, great show, great conversation. Hey, and don't forget to leave a comment. We read the comments as well. So you guys disagree with what we had to say. Y'all don't believe the tank. Y'all don't want it. Y'all want us to win every game from here on out. Let us know, man, and tell us why. Don't just don't tell us that you disagree with us. Tell us why you disagree with us, and so we can hear your thought process and we can understand where you're coming from. So then we'll be able to respond back to you. Because sometimes people leave comments and it'll just be like, there's no substance. You know what I mean? I don't want to hate on every comment, but like they won't explain why they're saying what they're saying. Right. And we appreciate the people who actually are thorough and they actually explain why they believe in what they're saying, and we respect it. We might not agree with it, but we respect it. But yeah, man.
I'm be in the comments this weekend, so hey, come on, man.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. We'll be in the chat for sure. But yeah, any last thoughts before we head out of here?
That's it, man.
Hey, man, I want that A-frame, man.
Just win, baby.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.